Alright, doing oil pan on the BMW 335i. All it takes is a Harbor Freight engine support. I kind of accidentally started this without starting recording first, but hope to get to the other bits in a little while and get those attached to the video. But yeah, start off with a Harbor Freight. That piece right there you can find in your trunk usually, in the toolkit on the passenger side that covers the battery. That screws into the cylinder head and you support it from there. Now to go to the underside. Alright, we're on the underside here. I've already started to take out these bolts right here. I only have one left. There's 6 of them. One here, one there, there, and 2 back there. Once those are out, you can drop the cross brace support bar. Next is sway bar. I kind of already just connected it. This is a 16, this is a 17, and pretty easy to disconnect under here. Just put the 17 on and use your 16mm wrench and 17 to hold it, take it off. As you can see, I've removed the sway bar for a little extra room. Next up is the rack and pinion. These are an E12 with a 16mm nut on top. Next up is engine mount bolts. On the underside, these are also an E12. Unless you have aftermarket ones, then they might be a standard hex. Next up, I'm doing control arm bolts, which are an 18. Front one has a self-locked nut. Rear one requires a wrench, also 18. Alright, I'm going to be pulling this out next. There's 2 Torx bolts here. I took out the radiator fan shroud to get at those bolts down there. They're T30. I pulled the rack and pinion. These are a 21 on the nut and a T40 on the stud. Well, in the process of trying to move this out of the way so I can move the tensioner, my Mickey Mouse flange hose popped right off the plastic. So looks like I'm upgrading to that aluminum one a little sooner than I thought. Alright, got the subframe out. That was 6 18mm bolts. And I recommend taking out this, well, not this side, but taking out the 2 on this side, the rear there, and the front one here. Leave that one in there. Take out this side so it drops down a bit, and then you can get that little son of a bitch from above with a really long extension and a T30 right next to the air conditioning unit. On that, you can see that I do have my BMS aluminum casters installed. I did have to modify them. As you can see, been having a leak right through here. It looks like it's leaking out of that corner, going to this area here, and then coming down. It's kind of having the wind move it all over the place. So far, everything has been an E12, including the power steering bolts. They've been E12 as well. But I do believe the bolt that goes into there from the transmission is an E14. I'm going to get those out and get this pan dropped, hopefully. You will need different length extensions. I had to use a 3-inch for the front here, but these I'm going to need a 6-inch or longer. And so far it's been tons of fun. Alrighty, all my fellow BMW geeks and freaks. Got the O-pan off. It does give a wonderful view at something, which I will go ahead and cut to that right now. And what it gives a perfect view of is the rear main seal. that should not be sticking out like that. That's causing my leak. So if you got something that's leaking just kind of down in this corner here, and you get your oil pan off, it doesn't quite look like it's probably your oil pan leaking. It's probably because it isn't. Probably because your main seal pushed out. And yeah, mine did. So much fun. More work. I got to pull the transmission next. And the flywheel. More bolts to buy. Great fun. But yeah, oil pan's off, subframe's out, new gasket can go in. I'm kind of glad I took it off though, because looked in the bottom of the pan, it looked like basically when they did the gasket replacement, a piece of gasket fell off in it. It was very hardened, and they just left it in there. So, you know, fun times. Is what it is. Timing chain looks decent. So, but yeah, rear main can push that. And honestly, I kind of have a feeling it was the plastic PCV that contributed to this from the old valve cover. Because honestly, it kind of started leaking before I did my aluminum one. And I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. I put in the aluminum one with a Vargas turbo PCV, which honestly still kind of leaks, but not as bad as the original and not as bad as what the Bremen aluminum one came with. Which there's a story behind that. I had to actually use the body of the aluminum one, but I had to heat it up to get the Loctite to loosen up so I could take the cap off, take the plunger out and the spring out, put in the Vargas spring and plunger, and then put on the Vargas cap. So yeah, this has been a fun adventure in BMW madness. I had my Mickey Mouse flange break on me. I have a leak coming from my heater core hose over there. And I have a rear main seal that pushed out. If you got a BMW with 180k, be prepared. Because this might be the fun that lies ahead of you. Here's the oil pan installed. The N54, the torque specification is 8 Newton meters, and then 60 degrees for these short bolts. And then in the back on the long ones, it is 180 degrees after 8 Newton meters. Now I just need to get this buttoned up and get the subframe buttoned up, and this job will be done. Unfortunately, it just means I got to reposition the car and drop the transmission for the rear main seal. Alright, here's for that coolant crossover pipe. As you can see, you can get at it from up above. You just kind of fish a really long extension down there. You can get to it right next to the air conditioner. I'm gonna have to see if I can position the phone a certain way. I mean, after all, I actually kind of already have this tightened down. But yeah, that's how you do it. And at least that's how I did it. Like I said, I already have it tightened down, but just wanted to show.